What is up, YouTube? Welcome to episode number 51 of Reezy Talks. I'm your host, Reezy Resells, and today I'm here with MiggidyMiggidy Mike. What's up, Mike?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Let me make sure that it's not stuck on me on the whole time. I think I had it stuck on me. Say hi again real quick, Mike.
Hi, how's it going, man?
Okay. So Mike is a follower of mine. I met Mike on I think, was it in YouTube or was it on Instagram?
YouTube, you shouted the name out, and then Instagram.
Okay, so
Actually started.
you've been following
We
me
actually
since I
met.
used to do this show by myself, right? When it was just me on this show. Did you hear me?
Yeah, you're sorry. You're kind of cutting out. Go ahead.
You've been following me since I used to do this show by myself, right?
Yep, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Or
When
Reezy
we used to
talks.
call it Money
Money talks.
Talks.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's trademarked, I think, like sideways a couple times. But let's get into your story. How long are you full-time reseller?
Full time since July
Awesome.
1st.
So that was the next question. How long? You've been doing it since July 1st. What were you doing before this?
I was a paramedic. I was in the healthcare field for
Full time
15 or
since
so years.
July. Oh, sorry about that. For 15 years, you were a paramedic?
I was in the healthcare field, paramedic for about 10 years or so. Had to have a couple of back surgeries though, so that kind of changed the course of things. While I was in school, I got a cousin who's been reselling for like 15 plus years, and she's like, "Hey, if you need to make some more money, start flipping on eBay." So did some eBay flips for a while just to make $800,000 a month. And once I got done with school, though, I jumped back, got back in the workforce and kind of
Let's
put
go
that
back.
aside.
Let's go back real quick because I like how you
Yeah.
said just to make $800 or $1,000 a month, because you can talk like that once you start actually like producing larger numbers. But to people that don't do this full time, or like maybe like picture yourself before you did that, you'd be like, wait, what do you mean an extra $800 a month selling junk on eBay? Like, what do you mean? Like that's possible. Like a lot of people don't understand. It's fairly easy to make an extra, $15,000 a year selling on eBay part time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was harder work then because I was doing clothes and clothing. It was hard because I'm just not, I don't like doing the measurements. I'm not a clothing person. I mean, I just kind of wear whatever I have laying around. Um, so, it was good for then, but I was definitely, I was ready to be done with it.
Right.
But yeah, until I found shoes.
Nice. So, you sell books and shoes now. Which one did you start selling first?
Actually, electronics. I was following like the Rake and Profit, what
Shout out
Bonafide
to
Hustler.
Rake and Profit.
I was following, the Bonafide Hustler, College Picker, all those guys.
You were in the
Just
green room.
drive. I wasn't, I was not an official member, but I was following those guys, and I'm at work in my cubicle, which go from a paramedic as on an ambulance and working in the ER to being in the cubicle was hard to say the least. And but I'm watching these videos on one screen while I'm doing my drafting. We're just working at an engineering firm, so I'm watching them. And they're talking about all the different things that they're grabbing and they're flipping. And on my lunch break, I used to zip, like 20-minute drive each way. And so, 20 minutes or 40 minutes of driving for 20 minutes of sourcing. And I'd go out and find like TI 81 calculators and electronics and puzzles, board games, anything, that would make money. And, but, after a few trips, I'd go and I just wasn't finding much. And I saw Reagan was talking about how, books. So I started scanning books with the phone, with the camera.
Yeah.
And, after doing that for a while, I started finding some books, and that ROI, like you say, it's like crack money. It's just,
Yeah.
it's
Ooh.
nice. So I started transitioning more into books after a few months. And I was hooked. I had the scanner and everything. I finally took Jim Pickens' course for $100. I don't know if there's a link down below or not for you,
Yeah,
but
there is for
check it
sure.
out,
Which
man.
we were talking about it before the show. We were
Yeah,
saying
the
that
course was
that's the
that course was
best course in the
amazing. And then
market, like
that's
the best
after
deal you could
after that,
ever
I just
get.
got into really heavy into books.
Was just saying how that course was like the best deal you could ever get, right? So like if you're watching this, Jim, you could raise your price up.
Yeah.
And if you're also
Oh,
watching this as
I
a,
already.
you guys should go buy the course before he raises the price. I think we're having a little bit of signal issue with Mike. I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
Sorry,
Maybe you
got a
guys
lag going. Sorry.
can let
Yeah,
me
no, I
know
mean,
in the
I was
chat
kicking.
if I'm lagging or if Mike's lagging. If you guys have any questions in the chat, please comment with capital all caps question and then put your question after that. And we'll try to get to that if there's, and also just use the same question header if there's something you want us to talk about or bring to our attention or whatever. So Mike started with clothing part-time. You were working at an engineering firm. Were you making good money?
Yeah. I mean, not as good as I was as a paramedic, but you know, like $20 an hour, so decent. No, couldn't complain.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what the minimum wage is where you live. Where I live, it is currently $12 an hour, but going up, it's already been passed. They're going to make it $15 an hour next year is when they have to start enforcing it.
Yeah, in the Seattle area, they're doing 15 an hour. Around where I'm at, I think it's like 10 to $11. I'm not quite positive.
Right. Okay,
But,
cool.
but
So
yeah, no, making
for
pretty
you,
decent money. But
what was the main reason why you went into reselling? Was it because you needed more money, or was it because you wanted your time back, or what was it? I know you have three girls.
yep, exactly. It was I got my wife works swing shift, so Monday through Friday, she's not really. I mean, I see her when she's getting ready for work, but she's pretty much gone Monday through Friday. So it's just me and the girls, and the only time I could work overtime was in the morning. So I was going into work at 5:36. I had to be off by 5 o'clock to come home and get the girls from the babysitter. And so I was just trying to figure out ways to make more money. I got a notepad on my phone. I still have that notepad actually, and just writing down everything I can think of to make money. And it's actually, I was listening to Gary Vee, and he's talking about the 2017 flip challenge, and something went off, light bulb went off, and I was like, ooh, sounds good. And so I'm writing down, podcast or YouTube or comedian, which isn't going to happen, all these different ideas. And the last thing I mean, just anything that you can, I mean, blogger. I actually did do a little bit of blogging for a little bit, and I have a lot of failed adventures as well. But the last thing on the list, Gary Vee, I think he shouts you out. He's like, you can go around finding used crap, buy it, and flip it on, for a profit on eBay. And I was like, I know you can. I used to do it. And so I just didn't want to do it again. But Amazon, that kind of was intriguing because, I'm working 10 hours a day or so, and I didn't have a lot of time, but I can just box stuff up, ship it off, and let them kind of deal with it.
Right,
So,
and then not have to pull your time away to ship orders and stuff. I'm kind of
exactly.
confused because we talked before we went live. So did you mention on the live show that you were flipping eBay when you were in college, or no?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit out of college, mostly just the textbooks that I had. I mean, the flipping started back like in elementary school, but like on the playground, I go to thrift stores with my parents, find stuff, and I had a couple items that just did really well. That get out of the gumball machines and flip. But yeah, in college, did a little bit of flipping. My wife actually wanted to open a bookstore after my second back surgery. We were looking into it, so we were just buying tons and tons of books. We had about 5,000 books saved up, and then same kind of thing. Once I got back to working again, those books just sat in the garage. So I just kind of was slowly selling them off on Amazon, the ones that were worth it. But I would do it as merchant fulfilled. I didn't know about scanners and FBA and all that yet.
So all the books, you would look them up like on the computer when you got home.
Yep, exactly. Just sit there with a stack of books.
You were just blind buying them, like I imagine probably from the bins or something, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of book sales. I just, we had like an outline of, we need 4,000 nonfictions, we need this many westerns, this many, we just had like a 10,000 goal we wanted to get to, and
right.
She wanted to have a little book cafe, which
so a lot of bag sales and stuff.
Yep, exactly.
I actually talked about a book cafe on a podcast I did with Steven Peterson for the e-commerce momentum, and I was saying that like that's probably something that I would be interested in doing, because if you follow a lot of other booksellers, they're doing a lot more merchant fulfilling now, and a lot of bookstore type situations sell a book for $1, a way to get rid of, if you're buying truckloads of books and you have a lot of other books, you got to do something with them. But I don't know if anyone has a cafe in their used bookstore. It's essentially come here, we got cheap books. But, I would like to make it more of like a community thing. Like, we got coffee, maybe we got pizza. I don't know. We got a couple of video games in the back, come read books, drink coffee, and play Super Nintendo.
And that's exactly it. Like my wife worked at this place, and when she was in college in Alaska. I mean, we've been together for, I don't even know, since she was 14. We broke up for a little bit while she was in college, but she's in Alaska and she's working at this cafe, and she just had this this envision in her mind, which obviously gets expensive when you're trying to do that on a while going to school and on a budget. So I mean, I still wouldn't mind having a bookstore one day, but doing kind of like you're saying, just pretty much like $1 a book just to get rid of your duds, but have a nice hangout cafe or something in the back. But that's still a long ways away.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to do real quick before we continue, I'm going to announce who won yesterday's giveaway. Yesterday, I did a giveaway for a Rally Roots beanie, or I did a announcement of a giveaway. And there's still time left to be eligible. You have to comment rally caps on my last video I did last night, which is the Toys R Us video. But I'm gonna start doing it right now. So hurry up and yeah, someone's gonna win. And then at the end of this video, I'll announce how you can win another one on tomorrow's video or the next video that I do. I'll announce the winner from today's giveaway or attempted giveaway. I don't even know how to call it. Anyways, so I'm going to screen share with you guys just so you can see that I'm randomizing the giveaway. Let's go over here. So this is the random YouTube comment giveaway. I'll take one more drink of my Sierra Nevada Torpedo Extra IPA. Maybe they'll start paying me someday. That would be amazing. So yeah, there's 45 comments so far. I'll search it up real quick and see if we have any more comments that got added. Oh, still 45. Whoop, 46. Someone dropped one. 46. All right, too late. I'm going to start it now. So let's see who it is. Hopefully they commented rally caps. Let's see. Oh, first right off the bat, rally caps. Thanks for the info on Toys R Us. I'm in Rancho Cucamonga, going to visit my local store in Ontario, California tomorrow. Get updated. Best wishes, Steven. Steven, you win a Rally Roots cap. Steven's YouTube name is True Web Deals. So you have to contact me on Twitter or Instagram DM and let me know that you're the winner, Steven, True Web Deals, and give me your address so I can ship this out to you. If I don't hear from you within a week, I'm going to give it away to someone else. And I really don't want to do that. So good job, Steven. And I'm going to stop the screen sharing. Okay, now we're back to regular. And at the end of this video, I will announce how you can win the other video. It's going to be a comment, but you don't know the secret code word until the end of the video. So stay tuned. And let me go over to the chat real quick. I saw that we had some questions. I want to answer some of these questions. There's 86 of you guys watching right now, and there's only 19 likes. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could smash the like button, just so we could get that out there. It doesn't take a lot of your energy, and it helps the video to get suggested to other users and to show up higher in the YouTube search feed. Let me go. I saw at least one question that we wanted to go here. Question. Jessica wants to know, how much space do you operate out of, Mike? Do you work out of your home or do you have a separate space?
I'm out of my home. I started in the office I'm in right now. It's small, it's like 10 foot by 10 foot or so. I would always wheel, I had a dolly. I'd take all my books in here, sit down with inventory lab, scan them in, and then I'd wheel them out. But like I said earlier, I've had 2 back surgeries, so wheeling books in and out of the office just wasn't practical. It's still like, where I'm sitting right now, this is my listing studio. Got my lights and stuff next to me and above me, all my cleaning supplies also here. But so this is now where I just clean shoes and I list shoes. Storage actually is also these tubs back here in the background. This stores my inventory that needs to be cleaned and photographed. And then outside, it started with a quarter of the garage. My wife, she let me clean out a quarter of the garage and set up. It was my shipping station / storage / I'd set my pallets up there for books. And I now have about 95% of the garage. And as soon as I buy a shed, the whole garage is mine.
He took over the whole garage.
Yeah, so I got a 2-car garage and a small little office.
How many pairs of shoes do you have listed on eBay right now?
Shoes, I'm not 100. So listings, let's see where we're at. I have 1,327 items listed currently. The shoes is probably about 1,000 to 1,100. I
Are you
still
looking at
have.
your account right now?
I am, yeah.
Do you see what your listed value is?
Listed value. Let's go to listings real quick.
And you said you were cleaning all of the shoes. You clean all the
No,
shoes?
no. I mean, most of them might get a dust off or something, but they don't all get clean. But like something like these, I don't think you can see these. These are some Doc Martin work boots. I've never seen them before, but steel toe, and they're pretty dirty. This is a bins find. So I got these boots for probably $5. I haven't even looked at the comps. I've never sold these, but they're gonna get cleaned up first. So if they're a lot of the bins shoes, end up getting cleaned, but not all
What's
shoes.
the average price you pay per a pair of shoes?
$5 is what I say $5. I actually just when I was doing my accounting, because I did pay taxes, and when I was over there doing it, I had found out it's like $4.80 something cents. I round up to $5.
Cool. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So the bins I pay if I get under 50 pounds, which I mean the bins in Tacoma are crazy. I mean, there's a lot of sneaker guys. There's a few groups of people that go for leathers and stuff as well. I stay away from sneakers. If I find some that are some good Brooks or Asics that look good, I will grab them. But people go crazy for them, like literally get in fights. So I mostly go for leather shoes and the other ones that the people aren't even going for. But yeah, so it's $1.30 a pound. If you can get over 50 pounds or 50 pounds or over, it drops down to 89 cents a pound, which brings
Wow.
those shoes, into nothing. And my other sources, like Value Village, I just got done yesterday. I just got done doing rounds. Value Village, I usually pay on average about $6 a pair of shoe.
Yeah, so it rounds out.
Yeah, so
About
overall
five.
over 1,300 pairs of shoes, it rounded out to 1,480 or 480. Sorry.
Nice. Did you get that total listing value?
Yeah, 37,452.
So
And I was told that
I want to do the calculator real quick on that. 37,452 divided across, we'll say 1,200 shoe listings.
Yeah.
So average sale price of 30 to like $35.
Yeah, you're actually really close because right now, my average sales price or average sale price was $32 or right around $32, 32 to 35. But I am purging clothes. If anyone needs clothes, go to my store. I will make you a deal. Like,
What is your eBay store name so people can check it out?
that is a good question. I actually changed it last night so it wouldn't match my Amazon, and it should be
Smart man.
It's Soulful, SOLEFULL 13.
Soulful 13. If any of the admins are watching, I can put that link in the chat. I would appreciate that. The link to the store so that people can go check it out. I will put it in the description later after the show ends. So you're purging clothes and going back to mostly shoes, but so 30 to 35 is your average sale price without shipping, right? You do calculated shipping.
Correct. Exactly. I used to look and see what other people are charging for shipping, and I didn't realize it's doing when they do calculated, it's saying what the price is to my house, not if so when I'm shipping to the East Coast, all of a sudden I'm getting people that have to do medium flat rates, so it's 12.45 for medium flat rate. So I only budgeted for like $6 or $10. So now it's all calculated shipping.
Did you see because I always hear a lot of eBay sellers saying that you should build your shipping price in and show free shipping. How do you feel about that, or is it just a time issue?
I haven't seen any. I do sell every once in a while, like certain electronics, vintage electronics. Maybe like I have a bunch of these at the bins. I found new in the box. These like Innovate cases. Everyone's doing free shipping on something like that. Then I might match free shipping on shoes. I don't mess with it because the weight can add up quick.
Are you doing comp research on every single shoe that you list, or how's that work out?
No, not when I'm buying the shoes. I do not like if I find a pair that it's just feels really good, feels high quality. I don't just give them away anymore because I was in Seattle at the Seattle bins with a buddy. I found this shoe, it said German Comfort. It was Fin Comfort. And I was like, it feels good, but I don't feel like taking the time to check the comps. So I told my buddy, I was like, you want these? He's like, sure, I'll take them. And, he doesn't look stuff up. So next thing you know, he sends me an email, or text like, thanks, man. I just sold them for $50. So now when I find something like that, I put it aside and later on I look them up. But if it's basic shoes, some Allegrias, some Doc Martens, Solomons, I'm just grabbing them if the price is right.
What about for pricing? You're doing comp research for pricing?
I do. Yeah. So I am not, I'm doing very few of my own listings. I still list like found this tape recorder. I will list this myself, electronics, yeah, things like that. I will list myself, but all my shoes now, all I do is photograph. I make these tags. My writing's horrible, but I make these tags out that has like the name, the weight, the style, style number, my bin number. They get uploaded to InkFrog, where my virtual assistant, which is actually a family member right now. Thank you, mom. I was actually setting up to,
Shout out to mom.
yeah, she's actually getting in the shoe game now. I've been, she goes out to the bins and helps me find them. She used to, she'll sell them to me. And, I was telling her I was looking at, I took Nicole State, shout out Nicole State. Thank you so much for that course. I took her, how to find a virtual assistant course, and I almost didn't take it. I was actually heading to the bins that morning, and I was texting my mom, and she's like, "You've been talking about, you need more time. You don't have enough time, and this is it." So I took that course, and as soon as I was done, I was like, "This isn't gonna work." Nicole says, $10 and under items. That's what she's having her VAs do. Most of my shoes aren't $10 and under. My listing price is like $20 and above. But within a few hours, I was starting to get things worked out, and I was talking to my mom about it, and she's like, "Well, I mean, if you're going to pay someone, I'll do it for now." So it's been perfect. She's kind of working out the kinks of how to get a virtual assistant worked. And eventually if she decides to stop, because she does list her own shoes now as well. So if she decides to stop, I got the sites to go. I mean, I started actually looking at hiring another person, but yeah, for now this
And
works out.
that's how Nicole does her listings too, right?
Her bread and her quote unquote bread and butter items like $10 and under. Yeah, she just hires them out through a VA.
Nice. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because um, if you don't have to physically touch it, why not pay someone in India or Philippines to do the work for you? I know I have someone who edits my videos now for $4 an hour, and you couldn't, that's ridiculous. As much as I want to do it, if it takes me 10 hours to do it, what's my time worth? It might be worth, $20 to $100 an hour, or maybe even more. It's not feasible, right? Like, or I have my designer from Venezuela that makes my merch designs for $4 a design, $2 for variants, and $1 for text arrangements. And then I have a another VA from Venezuela that uploads my shirts for $2.50 an hour. That's ridiculous because they're doing like 10, 20, 40. It's just insane to me. I'm like, okay, you uploaded 100 shirts today and it only cost me $10. There's no way in hell I want to sit down and do that because it's going to take me like, 1 to 2 hours or more. How could, it's not even worth it. It's insane how you could be so tied down by a certain task, and then when you get a VA to do it for you, it's the most liberating thing in the world, right?
Oh, and I got to that point now where, there's only so much time in a day, like you said before. So, I mean, my wife works swing shifts. So Monday through Friday, it's me and the girls. She comes home when we're sleeping and she leaves while they're at school. So we see each other, I usually take a break around noon, right when she wakes up, and we'll kind of hang out for a half an hour or so and talk while she's getting ready. And then she's gone. So Monday through Friday, it's me. I only have so much time. I work from usually, drop the kids off at the bus stop, 8:30. I'm working till about 3:30 when they get home, and then I take a little break. Sometimes if it's a busy day, I'll keep working a little bit, but it's hard when they're with them over your shoulder. So, and I go back to work
Right.
again at about 8 o'clock to midnight. It's, I said, that's the bags under the eye. I'm still in hustle mode. I haven't hit my goals yet. So sleep, you got to sacrifice somewhere. So right now it's going to be a little bit of sleep.
What
But
is your sleep schedule right now, by the way?
I I actually downloaded an app to kind of track it, because so apparently I'm only getting about 6 to 6.5 hours, on average. But I sleep from midnight till about 6:30. It was what I shoot for.
Good. Are you
Yeah,
a
I
big
do
coffee
actually.
drinker?
I actually have a coffee sensitivity. Yeah, I can't do coffee. I wish I could, but it ends up making me more tired, and I turn into a junkie. I go from, like, I'm just gonna have a cup, and then 2 days later I'm just slamming pots of coffee looking for just that next fix, where I can get it.
Dang.
Yeah, one of these days.
You gotta try some real espresso. Have you ever had espresso?
Oh yes, yes. See, the place I used to work for, the engineering firm, they were really good about, during really busy seasons, they bring in the cart, like this guy, he like straight from Italy or whatever. He's like, we have like this organic cocoa. It's perfect. I'll put some cinnamon in there, and and it whips them up, and man, it's delicious. And I'm like, one day of coffee, that's all I'm gonna give myself. But then, later on in the afternoon, I'm like, well, I already had a coffee in the morning. I have 24 hours, I have a couple more coffees. And I wake up the next morning, I just feel like I'm hungover, just groggy. And I'm like, oh, I got to work today. I know how to fix this. Go grab some coffee, and eventually I got a detox. So no,
No, I feel you. When I need a detox, I'll drink beer.
Nice.
So we got a couple questions real quick from JJ Marley. He says, Mike, what's the best pair or favorite pair of sneakers you found for yourself?
Oh, for my man, I shouldn't even show my pile. Like my cousin, she, like I said, the one who got me in this, she gives me a bad time because if we're out sourcing together, she sees me trying them on. She's like, I'm putting this on Instagram. You never try your product, and because as soon as I do, they're mine. And I do like jogging. I like exercise, nutrition. So, right now I actually have been on a thing this last month where we were doing like with a bunch of buddies, just a clean and sober month, eating super clean, no drinking, no nothing. And I was jogging a few times a week. And so like one week I was using some Hoka Ona Onas. Next week I was using some Brooks. Next, after that, some Asics. And I really like the Hoka Hoka Ona Onas. They're really comfortable and they're good for bad backs and bad knees. But my wife, man, she can't stand it. She's like, you look like you're wearing Skechers Shape Ups. Also, hint, Skechers Shape Ups are money. Grab them. Unless you live in Tacoma, they're worthless. Leave them at the bins. But those Hoka One Ones, man, they're comfortable. They're good, but they do look like Shape Ups.
Yeah, that's a good brand. A lot of people don't know about Hoka's. And I'm not sure, but I think Hoka might not even be restricted. Like, so if you're an Amazon seller and you're complaining that you can't sell Nike, I think you might be able to sell Hoka. I'm not 100% sure, but that's a brand of shoes that I didn't even know about until I started selling shoes.
That's good. I'm looking it up right now.
Someone else says, Megan said, are all the shoes you sell used? Do you sell both women and men? And what do you find has a faster sell-through rate?
I think I was just looking because my wife's friend was asking for my store name, and I have about 1,000 pair of women's shoes and around 200 of men's. For some reason, like Value Villages and thrift stores, Goodwills, they think that men's shoes are gold. Maybe they just pay more for shoes at the thrift stores, but like you'll find some like these really gorgeous Earth brand shoes, and they'll have them marked up for like $30. You go to the women's section and they'll have a pair of Earths or Earthies, and they're like $6.99 or $11.95, and just it's crazy difference. And there's so many more women's shoes. So
do you think maybe that's the reason why they would like to price them higher, but there's just such a large volume of women's shoes that they have to price them lower to get them to move?
It definitely could be. And it always cracks me up too. They the way that when they see Nikes, they see that swoosh, and that price is jacked up. They're charging $18 to $20, yet they got some Donald Pleiners, some shoes that probably sold for $200 or so, and brand new. I literally just listed them brand new with the shoe insert, little cardboard sticker on there, and they list them for like $10. It's like sometimes the thrift stores just don't know what they have.
Right. I was thinking about that just now. I was thinking that if there's such a large surplus of women's shoes versus men's shoes, is that just because women shop more, women buy more stuff for themselves because maybe the average woman has more shoes than the average man does, or because we just care less? Like we literally, I get a new shoe, when I step in a puddle and my sock gets wet. That's when I get a new shoe. You know what I mean? And so
I feel that.
Is that also maybe there's less men's shoes worth reselling because, we just wear them until they blow up?
Maybe, but some of the men's shoes though do really well. Like, and especially some of this leather. I was at the bins not that long ago. There was a pair of Church's shoes. Never heard of them before. Still had the shoe stretcher in there and was branded. Somebody threw them back because it was some brand they didn't know. Looked them up. These shoes sell for $400. And
type of shoes that you take to the cobbler, yeah.
Yep, exactly. I brought them to the cobbler and said, hey, because I couldn't find a size. Come to find out, they're like a 72 or something really weird I hadn't heard of. And I was like, hey, how much just to polish he charged me $9, did a hot wax seal on the on the edge, polished them up, buffed them up, made them look good. I priced them at like $100. They sold within 8 hours, and I knew I'd sold them too cheap. But
wow.
Some of those men's shoes do good. Some of those men's shoes do really well.
So this is a good question. Also from JJ Marley, he says, what are your current go-to cleaning for sneakers. Yeah. Basically, what products do you use to make your shoes look better? And let's just talk about that whole little area of cleaning the shoes and products you use and processes of making them look better.
Yeah, perfect. Like actually, I mean, the nice thing is to do this show, I literally just kind of pushed up aside. So within arm's reach, okay, usually within arm's reach, my biggest tool right here, metal wire brush. This thing is killer. I actually had this kid that came to my house, and this is right when I first started doing shoes, still working my other job. And he's like, "Hey, I have this bottle of cleaner I'd like to sell you." And it's not in here, but I think it's called like Awesome 10X or something. And usually, I'm the guy that's shutting the door. I'm like, "Sorry, not interested." But he's like, can I clean something for you? Here, let me clean your concrete. He scrubs the concrete. Look how clean it is. I'm like, well, that's cool. I mean, whatever. I was like, he's like, what can I clean that's going to prove to you that this product is what I say it is? I'm like, hold up. I went inside, grabbed some shoes, and I said, these right here. So he actually sat there and he sprayed the shoes, took out this little wire brush, and he cleaned the sides of the sneakers, just glowing white. Like these are actually my daughter's like dirty shoes, and but I started using this cleaner, and the cleaner works good. It does. I still use it. It's good for like a year. It's a concentrate. But the thing that he had was this wire brush. So,
That's
I don't
awesome.
use it
Shout out to our door-to-door hustlers.
Yeah, dude. He did good. He was a good salesman. It's eco-friendly. Spray it in the mouth. Like, you don't have to do this. I've seen the commercials. But
I've seen the YouTube video of the super duper salesman, dude.
Exactly. So I use the wire brush on the rubber part of the soles. I will gently use it on suede, but you have to be careful because you can mess the suede up. But one of the big ones, like the awesome stuff that he uses, I have it in a bottle. It's diluted like 10 to 100. I don't know. It's some crazy dilution.
Where do you get that stuff at?
Amazon's got it. That was that door-to-door salesman. I've had it for over a year. I still have a ton of it left. And then somebody posted about this LA's Totally Awesome. I picked it up. It works pretty good as well. I just kind of spray a little bit either on a rag or right on the side of the shoe. Wire brush, scrub.
What kind of shoes are those that you're holding?
These are some Keens, and they're actually a little ragged. They're a Ben's find, so only paid $3 for them. But Keens, even in not the best condition, there's no holes, there's no rips, and they're a decent size, like a 13 or something. They still sell. There's certain shoes that I still will grab, even if they're not in the best of shape. I just say these shoes are well worn / broken in, but they still have a ton of life.
Do you do the sole test? Do you bend the sole to see if it cracks on the shoes?
Every shoe. It's crazy. Like Echoes, Danskos. I mean, I bought a pair of Danskos. These things look gorgeous, and you get home and they staple the leather to the sole, and they'll just come apart. Like even a high end shoe, like Echoes,
every single shoe you sell, you do the bend test on.
Yep. Shape ups, I'm pushing on the actual foam on the side because that'll start to break apart. But yes, every shoe gets.
Sure that it's not all what's it called? Just all old and.
Yep.
I'm not at a loss for words or whatever, but what is it? Brittle.
Exactly, and I'm giving them an actual bend. I want to make sure because even a shoe like this is a really nice Doc Martin.
Mary Jane.
Exactly, double strap Mary Jane. You got it. And
dude, what size is that? I might buy that off you.
This is 5 women's.
Dang, my wife wears 7, so she wants those shoes. We were actually just looking at them the other day in the store, and she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "How much?" She's like, "Oh, 130." I was like, "Yeah,
just sold
eBay."
Just sold a pair of Poshmark. Just sold a pair on Poshmark for $68. So black ones. So nice. Yeah, those double strap Mary Janes are killer. But yeah, you definitely want to give them a bend, give them a twist. You don't want I accept returns, and if the shoe breaks apart, you have to accept the return. So
you scrub the bottom and sides of the sole.
No bottom. Well, this one's not a bad example, but like something like this, not even gonna worry about. The only thing I'm scrubbing is the price off the shoe. Most of my stores, they have a sticker on one shoe, the other shoe has the price. And for that, I will use that Totally Awesome. We'll go back to the cleaner for a second. I will use that LA's Totally Awesome or my eco-friendly, like I said, I think it's awesome, or nail polish remover. This stuff is killer. It works really good on the sides of white shoes. Don't get it on the leather, but works really good on white shoes. I still want to try OC Thrift Shop. Shout out. I want to try her Smurf Piss. That stuff looked like it worked really good on your shoes.
Yeah, no, it works amazing. That is 1-to-1 ratio of Dawn blue dish soap and white vinegar.
Yeah, and it's on my list actually for my shopping list of things to buy. I should just buy it on Amazon. But
Isn't it funny how like something can sit on your list for like 10 days, 12 days, and you're like, dude, I just haven't been able to like it's 2018. We got so much options. We're so busy, right? And it's like, just buy it on Amazon. I don't care if I have to pay twice as much. Just which is hilarious because that's why we're in business.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely supporting the people that that have their products up, because here's another good one: a suede brush. Walmart sells suede brush and a suede eraser. Works pretty decent, not for everything, but for getting out little blemishes. And I think my mom hits me up and she's like, because I do not like suede. I mean, I like suede because it brings in good money, but it's harder to clean. You can't just take a good polish or anything and clean it. So she hits me up and she's like, $3 at Walmart. Put it on my list. Finally, a week later, Amazon, I'll pay $6. It's all good because time is money.
Right. And what else? You do polishing of leather shoes? That's a whole different category, yeah?
I don't. So I'm actually waiting. Grab those docks again. I'm not sure if you can see this, but those toes do have some, kind of scuffed up.
Yeah, not all the way through, but it looks a little lighter right there.
Exactly. So they make an actual color polish that I'm actually waiting to get in the mail, because I don't usually do a lot of color polish. But Tino, the Soul Advisor, another shout out. I don't know if you have an affiliate link, but man, check that guy out. His books are killer. I was doing same thing like I did with the books. I did books for a few months and I finally purchased the course. I was doing shoes for a few months. I finally purchased the course, and it's always worth your money. The amount of information you gain just like that.
Well, not always, but if you get the good one.
What is
I didn't know Tino had a course. I don't even think I've talked to him. I think I follow him on Instagram, but I think that's about it.
Yeah, there was those books I was telling you about. Yeah, Hunter with him and Rakin.
Okay, yeah. Him and Rakin. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Books. And I saw a video with him, and he was using this color polish. So I'm going to be doing that. But normally,
is that like paint, or how does that work?
It's a polish that has like a dye in it, so it dyes the leather a little bit. But I haven't needed it forever. The biggest thing you will use is right here, Dr. Martin's Wonder Balsam. This stuff, I just opened it, and you go through. I think I'm on my third tub, in the last about maybe one a month or so, and it's just a cream polish that takes out little blemishes, little scuffs. Sounds like an infomercial. Dr. Martin's Wonder Balsam, and yeah, it works. It does. Stuff works. It does work really good though. So that's between that wire brush and that Wonder Balsam. That's two of the best.
I'm going to try and put links to these products down in the description. You can get most of that stuff on Amazon, yeah?
Yep, that's where I get most everything. Another one I just got that I'm going to have to recommend, it's called Shoe Fix Glue. This is another one I just recently started, but every once in a while you get that shoe. I don't have one next to me, but here we go. Like these Nikes here, like the little part on the tongue, the toe saver will start to peel a little bit. I used to use shoe goo. I've tried all these other things, but shoe goo, you're trying to get a clamp or something to keep that on. And
I know about shoe goo, man. I'm a skateboarder.
Exactly. That's how I used to use it too. And but you have to hold it forever. So I found super glue will work, but it's a little brittle. So this Shoe Fix Glue, which get another link, it's like a super glue. It hardens, or it's dry within 45 seconds, sets within 20 hours, but it's flexible when it dries. So I just started using this about a month ago and am loving it. I have literally glued on entire soles, and I haven't sold them yet because I'm a little worried, but every day I come in and bend them and twist them, and it's still working. So it's another good one.
Your courage is getting up there.
Oh yeah, no, I feel kind of bad because it was actually a return. The lady got him, and she's like, this sole fell off the shoe like the first day I had him. And I gave him a good test, but apparently walking in a shoe and bending it doesn't always work. And there's some really nice Harley Davidson boots, and I didn't want to just glue them back on and put them back on eBay and have her be like, hey, I just bought those and the sole fell off, and now you're listing them again. So
I glued them back up.
Exactly. So I glued them. I'm giving them a test. If after a month of bending and twisting it works, then I know it's good.
Right. Awesome. We got another question. Someone was asking about, they were like saying, I'm running out of space. They were talking about possibly using a shipping container to work out of or to store their inventory. It could work. It depends on what your climate is, where you live. I'd be more concerned about it being too hot than being too cold, because the heat will mess with the inventory more than the cold will. But I mean, it can work. I had what did I had like 15,000 books in a shipping container, but we also had electricity ran in the shipping container. So we didn't have Wi-Fi at all. This was before we switched to all FBA, and we actually would. It was like a dry warehouse, had no internet, so we would list the books using a spreadsheet on a computer or on a PDA. This was like pre-smartphone, while we were in the warehouse, and then we would get back to the house and we would upload the spreadsheet, and we would have to like keep note of what didn't work or did work so that we could pull those books back off the shelf because they weren't actually listed, and then print pull lists and go grab them or whatever. So I mean, you can make anything work, but your biggest concern is going to be environmental issues with your inventory. You know, is it sealed from bugs? All that good stuff. Do you do anything special with your shoes? Do you bag them up or anything after you list them, Mike?
Definitely. And real quick, I'm gonna go back to that. I don't know how you read comments and do do that at the same time, but while you're talking, I had a chance to read some comments. And JJ Marley, good point. Be aware of different surfaces. Good for rubber soles. Be careful with patent leather, suede, etc. Dr. Martin's Wonder Balsam, good for like a calf leather. It's not good for nubuck or suede. It will mess them up. You can still sell them. I've sold some Keens. I made that mistake. I was tired. I was polishing them, and these Keens had like a regular calf skin, and then it had nubuck on the sides. And I'm cleaning, and I hit the nubuck, but it turns them a darker color. And you got to make sure to put that in your description that these shoes have been cleaned and that the nubuck has been oiled or something. You have to disclose it. So be careful. Make sure the cleaner is used on the proper item.
What is the differences between that? Because is nubuck like fake leather or what?
No, it's just a different. I think it's a different cut of the skin. It's a soft leather. I actually have a pair I kept for myself. They were Clark's. They're really comfortable, and it's a really soft leather. It's not like I don't know what the technical term is, fuzzy. It's like a suede, but it's a real soft leather. They had gotten some water staining on there, so I took out some Wonder Balsam. I was like, ooh, kind of going over it. And they look really good, but you have now, it kind of, quote unquote, messed them up. I have to keep using that leather conditioner constantly, or they look like it gets like blotchy spots on it. And then suede, I mean, most people know what suede looks like. It's definitely got a whole different look. If you don't,
it's like the standard. It's probably like the most used shoe at general shoe surface material, right?
Sadly, yeah, because I can't stand cleaning suede.
No. As a skateboarder, I love suede. Those are my favorite shoes. Like leather or other stuff that's low grade, it wears out too fast, and like the leather or the nubuck, it's like slippery. You know what I mean? It doesn't have as much friction. It doesn't have as much grip.
Yeah, my DCs and stuff back in the skate days, that was always suede. But for actual cleaning purpose and skate shoes, you don't care though about how clean they look. They're getting, the sides are getting torn. Like you said, your shoe going on for some traction because the soles are falling off.
You rip your shoes up so quick.
And I missed the other part. So you said, storing. Yeah. Now the way that I do it is shoes are over here on the dirty shoes on the left-hand side. I saw somebody commented also about like sanitizing. Right now, I'm just using a regular Lysol disinfectant and then the other cleaning. But as soon as I take my picture, I take my slip, I write out whatever thing or all the information my VA needs. I put that as my first picture on my little Lazy Susan. If you need I got an Instagram post of how I use it. I use my Lazy Susan and picture
like a DJ.
Like a DJ. Yeah, exactly. Well, we won't start rapping though. But I take the picture of my tag with the shoe, and then I get all 12 photos, the last one being the tongue tag. And then as soon as I'm done with that, they go into a poly bag. I put a bin number, they're around here somewhere. I have bin numbers. I use a binder clip, and I binder clip the bin number to the left shoe, usually towards the back. It goes in the poly bag, and then from there, actually I got a whole tub right here on my right-hand side. Once I'm done with pictures for that night, I usually do my pictures when the kids are asleep. And then the next morning, all those shoes go into my tubs out in the garage.
Nice. So real quick, let's just go over, because people aren't gonna actually go over to Instagram. That's just how people are. So Mike do you have the Lazy Susan in front of you? Oh, there we go.
See it? There you go. So here's some Kate Spades right here. I mean, I'm gonna put them on there and just snap a picture, just nice circular motions. get a bunch of pictures. But yes, I am.
Yeah, that sped up your photo process very quickly, huh?
It's huge, you know, and I can't stand IKEA, but my wife wanted to go. She loves it. So I went with her, and I actually was going to get shoe trees. IKEA sells these shoe trees. Buy 2 or 3 because they're crap and they break, but they make your pictures look good. So I went to buy these shoe trees, and I'm walking by and I'm like trying to get my wife. I'm like, come on, let's go. And there's this Lazy Susan, and my face just lit up, and I grab it, and she's like, oh, I know what you're getting that for, because I told her I want to make a Lazy Susan and put it on a foot pedal, because I wanted to just be able to set there, you know, foot pedal snap, and make it motorized. But for now, this thing's pretty killer. It saves some time.
Nice. So, and you're not obviously the Lazy Susan is in the photo then, yeah?
Yeah. I usually just, you know, as little as possible. I'm trying to get as close to the picture as I can.
Right.
But yeah, it is. But the cool thing is also, I mean, I'm in my studio right behind the camera. I am using fabric, and by having a Lazy Susan, now my shoes are on a piece of wood, which is way easier to, you know, wipe off or clean off any of the scuffs, because they're dirty old shoes, and so I can clean it off a lot easier than my fabric. Which before I had a white sheet, you know, always trying to clean it, and you have to, you know, get new ones. So saves your cloth. Yeah.
Right. You don't use the white paper backdrop.
I used to, until actually just this last week. So one of the things that I love is that, I mean, I don't know if I'm just too ADD and just can't, you know, just have one process. When I first started, I had like this blue box that I shot on with a white background. And then a few months later, I ditched that and I went to a wooden background. And then I ditched that, you know. The cool thing is though, is now anytime I see that blue background, someone gives me an offer, I know that item is over 3 months old, because I listed that over 3 months ago. And I'm probably going to take an offer on it. I mean, I'm always taking offers if it's like $5 or less off. But if I see a blue background, I know I'm taking you know, even less. If I see like my wooden one, I know now those are about a month old. So what I did is I went to Joann Fabrics, and I just started with 2 different fabrics. So I'm using a different drop sheet, you know. So every single month will have a different color. So I will know exactly when I posted that shoe. You know, if it's this gray marble, I posted it in March. If it's this kind of a brown marble, I posted it in April. So I'll actually know how old my inventory is.
That's actually really cool. That's like such a cool pro tip to just see it by. It's like the same reason why I really like putting information in your SKU on Amazon, besides the fact that you might really need that information in the long term. But just because I can quickly glance at a sale on my Amazon seller app, see how much I sold it for, and then I can instantly see in the SKU when I purchased it, where I purchased it, what I paid for it, and how many I bought, and I can feel my anxiety is a lot lessened, right? Like,
for sure. Yeah. As far as I know, there's no way on, at least what I've seen, there's no way on eBay. There's nothing that tells you, you know, when you listed your item. So I don't know how else to find out. So for now, it's like you said, it's a time saver. I can easily see just by looking. So offer comes in.
Is there some better SEO by having white background on your pictures?
I haven't seen it. You know, every time I change something, I used to use the Amazon seller app for taking my photos, and it was beautiful. You know, it's like that white floating, or the floating shoe. You know, everything else is just white. And because I originally
because they have in the Amazon seller app, they have the photo studio thing.
Exactly. And I wanted to get into, like, you know, some private and generic labels. So I used to use that for some products, and I was like, ooh, this makes a good picture. But the amount of time, what everybody needs to stop doing is worrying about. I mean, worry about photos is good, but get listings up. Like, that's just the number one thing that, you know, everybody's like, what kind of photos? What kind of? I mean, cleaners are good too, but you know, stuff doesn't sell unless it's listed. So I haven't noticed a different. I haven't really noticed, like, you know, nobody.
Is it the white background that's necessary to do the photo search? I think that's what it is, right?
That could be. I don't use photo search, so I'm not sure.
I talked to a couple eBay sellers recently, and they use that to do their research on items. That's the first thing they do, is they try to use the camera on the eBay to optically locate a product and find comps.
I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna check that out a little bit later. Like I said, in store, I rarely do comps. Every once in a while, it kind of bites you in the butt. You get back and like, it wasn't that good. But you know, there's also every once in a while you come. Go ahead.
Did you do more before and you do less now?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I used to sit there, but before pre-Tino's book, like I said, Soul Advisor, Rake and Profit, get that book. Before his book, you know, I'm going through and I'm looking at every shoe, looking it up. What are the profits? I'm seeing what other people have in their carts, and going online, and I'm just watching all the YouTube channels, seeing what people are buying. And but I find a shoe, it just felt high quality, good leather. Maybe it was made in Italy, not designed in Italy, because made in Italy and designed in Italy, totally different.
Right.
But
Is there two books that they did, women's shoes and men's shoes?
yes, and the men's 101 killer men's shoes came out first, and they did a good job, but they killed it on the second. Women's shoe, you can actually go through. It shows you the like the logo. It gives you what to buy, what not to buy, the average range of shoes, and then they have like their what I can't remember what they called it, the jackpot item. And if you
Yeah.
scroll to the next page, it has like 4 separate pictures of different types of that shoe. So being able to see that tag before you get to the bins, like there's several times I was scrolling through that app and I'm like, I've seen that tag so many times, I just didn't know it was good. So once you see it, it kind of gets in your memory, and it's way easier to find them.
So
Especially when you're
did you read those books several times?
I read them. I still read them. there's a couple of brands like I don't know how it's like MIU, Mew, something like. There's a few brands I still have not found yet, and if you don't find them, you don't. It's not in there yet. They're in your brain database. So I constantly, about once a week, twice a week, if I'm heading to a big sale, I'm looking.
Just pull it up on your phone and go through it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. It only takes 5 minutes to go through each one. So
Awesome. Let's see, what else can we talk about shoes? What are some of your favorite brands to sell? You said Keen, you said Dr. Martens.
shape ups. I think I was texting you about the shape ups is crazy, except for Tacoma. Like I said, they don't sell it for some reason. Tacoma, it sucks. Don't buy them. But you go to the bins and nobody grabs them. They just sit there. And but what people don't understand is, people that are trying to use shape ups to get fit have not got the memo that they don't work. I want to say Skechers even put out like had like a suit or something, but they're still selling them, and people will spend $28 to $30, and you can find them. Value Village, they're $11.99. Get them half off, so I pay about $6 for them, and I'm selling them for 27 to 32 all day long. So that's like a good bread and butter one. But yeah, Keens have good value. You can find some like Aquatalias, some Allegrias, those kind of ones. They sell faster and for more. I'm not ones I stay away from, or I don't stay away from. I'm really picky. Like Clarks are good, but the resale value, they're so flooded. They just don't go as fast. Yours just get mixed up with the rest of them. But I will grab, like if it's a Clark Cheka, certain ones I do grab. Bourne's the same thing. Bourne's boots all day long, but like regular Bourne's like mules slides, they just don't sell very fast. So I stay away from them.
Man, there's so much nuances to it. You just got to get in the game to figure it out. You got to check those books out,
yeah,
or you got to like study comps
that's exactly it. Like
you just got to keep studying, man. There's just so much, right?
Yep, exactly. And eventually, shape ups. I'm gonna cry that day, but eventually, shape ups. People are gonna stop buying, or something will happen. But then there'll be that next item that comes along. But yeah, it really is a constant study, because there's just so many shoes. Or when you find that shoe that just looks good, look it up and see the comps. And if it does good, bring it home, sell it, see how it sells. Write it down on your list of shoes to look out for.
Right. And as long as your cost is low, then it's $5 or less. You're pretty golden, right?
And exactly like we were talking about before, like when you're looking at Ross and you're looking at other places, you really have to do some research, because the eBay fees, PayPal fees, that can really bring down your ROI. But when you're
Right, because
getting
you're
at the
paying
bins,
$20.
yep, exactly. But when your average cost is $5, even if you buy, maybe you didn't do a good enough bend test and the shoe breaks, it sucks. It goes in the reject pile, but it's $5. It's not going to break. It's like a book. It's not going to break if you buy a bad one.
Exactly. The thing that I like about shoes, they have a lot of similar qualities to books. They're cheap. They are plentifully available, and they are seen as worthless by most people, used shoes.
Yep.
So they're kind of like overlooked. But the thing that's really cool about shoes is everybody wears shoes. Not everybody reads books. So,
True.
like one of the things with books is people tell me I can't find any books. Like I don't have books where I live. Like, and I'm like, well, it's not going to work like where you live. You can't just source where you're at. They have to be there, right? So it's like you have to have, what is the median income rate, because rich people read more than poor people. Do you have colleges based where you live, because there'll be more books, what's the literacy rate of where you live, which is something you can actually look up on a map, the literacy rate. So you could map out on the US, like, let's cross-reference literacy rates with like high median income and colleges, and like those areas probably have good books to source. But everywhere is going to have shoes. Obviously, the higher income areas are going to have more shoes and probably better quality shoes, right?
Definitely, yeah. Like yesterday, I won't say my starting location because right now there's already enough resellers there, but they miss so many though. So I start in this one area, and if you're familiar with the Washington area, Tacoma does pretty good, but there's certain areas they just jack the prices up. As I head north though, you get into Seattle and the quality definitely goes up. There's a lot of people making good money in Seattle that don't care about their shoes. They're just tossing them to the Goodwills. So you will find some though that there's another store that's really far past, not really far, but it's quite a ways past Seattle. Their quality, every time I go there, I find Timberland Boot Company, not just the regular Timberland, but the Boot Company or Timberland Boot Company. And I find them every single time. But every time I find them, the person who wore them just wore them till there's just nothing left. Cool thing is they still sell. You just got to stay distressed.
Wow. I don't even know if I've ever even seen Timberland Boot Company.
Oh, give me 1 second. I got a pair right here from Sunday. This is actually I got two pair, but this is a nice cap toe. It's got the brogue.
Is it the same company or what? What's the difference?
Yeah, it's just their higher end. It's instead of just Timberland, it's their higher end model. But
nice.
Even like this shoe here, I'm not even gonna clean it. I'm gonna leave it looking like that with the word distressed on it. And some hipster is gonna pay me good money for it. Not even a hipster, somebody that likes good quality. I mean, they're good, cool shoes. I'd wear them if it was my size.
That's awesome, man. So, yeah, guys, shoes are worth good money. And you guys should be checking out used shoes as a way to make some extra money, or if you don't want to do shoes, to grow into something else, But shoes should be the chances are that you have shoes near you is higher than the chances are that you have books. At least that's the way that I look at it. And they are similar as far as pricing, availability, processing. It's like I really like selling new shoes on Amazon, and it's because they share a lot of similarities with books. They got barcodes, they're plentifully available, but they sell faster. They're also easy to store, ship, sort, like all those things, right? It's like Mike was saying that he wasn't so much into the clothing. And what are some of the reasons why you think that you like shoes versus, better than clothing?
That's a good, yeah, measurements I think was number one. I mean, first I'm not a huge sneaker. I'm never a sneaker. I wasn't a Nikes person. I'm not a sneakers freak, but I I do like good running shoes. So I guess that kind of helps, but I don't like measuring clothing. I didn't like, I was doing flat lays, bring out trying to get a picture with the measuring tape, and I don't have that eyeball for high quality clothing. So once I started getting into it, I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is grab anything that can make a profit. If it makes $5, great. I just want quantity. But with shoes, you don't have to worry about that. You can give me every pair of shoes. Like yesterday, I was 119 pairs short of what I wanted to get. I wanted 200 pairs of shoes yesterday. Didn't happen. I got 81. But those 81 shoes, at an average sale or average profit of over $20 a pair, it's pretty killer. So a little bit less work, easy to clean. Storing it takes up a lot of room, but it's pretty easy to store. Not as easy as clothes. Shipping's not hard. So I don't know. I love shoes.
What's your sell-through rate?
I am at for my 60 days. So let's pull it up real quick. Actually got it right here. I've sold, I want to say it's I'm trying to get up to 300 sales. My goal is 300 sales a month. I want to sell 10 pairs of shoes a day. Eventually it'd be like around 12 pairs of shoes. I figure if I can sell 12 pairs of shoes a day, it's roughly 10,000 a month on Amazon. Well, my numbers come back up.
On eBay, you mean, right?
Sorry, eBay. I'm trying to do, I do 10,000 on Amazon and books already, and I want to do 10,000 on eBay as well. I figure I don't want to get greedy. That's a nice number to achieve. But right now, sorry, computer shows a different number. For some reason, when you pull up eBay Seller Hub, they show you the price of what you sold plus your plus shipping. I don't want plus shipping.
So you're
So
on
right
you're
now
on
for
your
the
way to
last,
doing 100,000 profit a year in shoes on eBay.
that's the hope. Yeah, but right. So it's like in the last 60 days, I've sold 468 pairs of shoes, and it's hard to get my sell through rate because I'm still listing. I'm in a growth phase. I'm still listing more than I'm constantly listing more than I'm selling. So it works out if you do 1327 divided by 468, it works out to like 33% or something.
Nice. Do you see yourself slowing down ever?
On shoes, maybe.
I mean, that comment that you just said, basically, I'm in a growth phase. When will you not be in a growth phase?
When I'm eventually doing generic or private label or something else. Eventually, I do like I list or so. Somebody actually was asking earlier about how many shoes do I try to, or books or shoes do I try to acquire each week. I upload 15 for my every single day, 5 days a week for my VA to list. 75 pairs of shoes. Books, it's hit and miss. My books actually tanked for a little bit. I started getting so focused on shoes. I let my books, my inventory drop, and then we had those yearly fees coming up, so I had to cut 600 books out of my inventory, and so I try not to trying to balance them. It's kind of hard. So eventually, though, 15 shoes every day, 5 days a week. Once I'm selling 10 pairs a day, 12 pairs a day, I'll be pretty happy because I only got so much space in my garage, and then I want to try to just keep eBay and Amazon at that balance. Try to keep around 10,000 a month on each platform, and then figure out the next one from there. Somebody was actually asking earlier about like my blog and stuff, but there's another thing out there. I just want to diversify, keep going.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe you can get a warehouse or get people to source shoes for you, or maybe you just source shoes and drop them off at the warehouse, and then you're done for the day, and then they process them all or something.
Yeah, that's been a thought actually. A guy at the bins who I've been kind of watching eyeballing. He's been doing this for a long time. He was actually asked if I want to get a warehouse. Problem is with as long as it's really close, it could work. But my hours are really broken with family life. So I have to be home. They have to get the kids to the bus, and then I can go to the warehouse and then or drop off stuff. But I have to be home to pick them up. And then once they go to bed, I can't go just ditching them and go to a warehouse. So for
Right.
now, I clean out the garage. I can easily fit 2,000 pairs of shoes out there. And
Yeah, working from home is actually really conducive to productivity, I have learned, right? It's like, especially like I'm in a similar boat as you. My wife goes to school full time, and so I'm with Luna 5 days a week, and we homeschool also. And it's like, if I had to go somewhere else to work, I would definitely get a lot less work done, and I would also spend less time with my family.
and you have to commute. And I tell you, I just made this comment the other day. I don't like driving at all. Anytime we go somewhere, my wife's usually driving. And when I used to drive to work, it was just like, as I'm getting closer and closer, it's like this heavy weight. It's like, I'm almost to work, and just didn't like traffic. Now, I'm heading to the bins in the morning. I'm just whistling, smiling on my face. It doesn't feel like work. You
Right.
get there, you're BSing with other resellers, you're digging through shoes, you just get that adrenaline. Even shoes I found 100 times. You find that shoe like, oh, it looks good, put it in your cart, and it doesn't feel like work. It is a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, anybody watching,
Right.
it's a lot of work, but it doesn't feel
Yeah,
like
but
work.
it's funny. We have two different words for work. It's the same word. One means, things you have to do to get the job done, but the other one is like this dreaded thing that you don't want to do or don't want to be near, or it's like you were saying, you were driving to work being like, God damn, I got to go to work, because I still remember what that was like, 13, 14 years ago. I had jobs where I would literally every single day I would contemplate quitting before I went to work. And I would go to work and I would forget about it at some point, but like, how can you live that life where every day you're thinking about quitting? That's not good for your soul.
Yeah, and I actually liked what I did. I was good at it, but yeah, it wasn't for me. It was apparently dirty shoes and dirty but not dirty, but used shoes and used books.
Yeah, J Diaz wanted to know, is that 10,000 a month net or just gross?
10,000 gross.
For both
Or
platforms is your goal, but already
yeah,
at that on Amazon.
yep, Amazon. I don't know, I'm ashamed to even admit it. I actually just about a month ago I let it get down to like $4,000. I was my pallet. I was so happy. $120 to ship to Rialto, California. Usually I send them to Illinois, and $120. I'm singing, I'm like, woo, this is like half the price I normally pay.
Yeah.
Took over 6 weeks to get checked in. And in that
Wow.
time, I had to chop like 600 books, or maybe not quite 600, 500 books that, were going to hit the yearly fee from when I, first started in March. I had my buddy and a cousin. We headed over to Oregon, took a 4-hour trip, and I've been selling these books for like the last year. I'm watching them sell, but they're just not, there wasn't, I had to cut the ties. They weren't worth it anymore. So I
Right, right.
lost
It was
those
all the
books.
junk.
Yep. And then finally that pallet got in there. While I was waiting for that pallet, I shipped off another like 600 books, and then just hit a sale. I got another, I just scanned like 400 more in today. So my sales are going back up. I'm getting close to that 10,000.
Are you using Exceller List or Inventory Lab or Scan Lister?
Yeah, actually I want to talk to you about that Exceller list, but no, well, I forgot to call it the name of it. The one that you recommended,
Scan Lister.
Scan Lister. There you go. Yeah, Scan Lister. It was hard breaking ties with Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab, I still love you. You're good, but you're expensive. And but man, and it's slow. I still want to see you and Caleb Roth do a showdown and see who does it faster. Because as much as I respect Caleb Roth and the guy's a genius, man, you're gonna kick his butt. Like it's so much faster. I do notice though that every once in a while, a quality issue gets through. Like I might scan a book with the wrong, with the wrong condition code,
Right.
or maybe I wasn't looking, and I scanned the book and it says the title, but I didn't see the computer, and it's actually the wrong book. And I send it in, and the customer's like, "Hey, you sent me the wrong book. Is this a scam?" But luckily,
Is this a scam?
Oh yeah, apparently I sent someone the wrong edition. It was supposed to be a second edition. I sent them a first edition, and Amazon, of course, they took responsibility for it and said, "Hey, we're sorry, we probably sent the wrong book." So
Right,
it
right.
worked.
Yeah, but you tried Exceller List and you weren't feeling it.
I want to try it. Exceller List is the next one to try. I was waiting to get your reviews on it. Scan Lister is just quick. Like today, yeah. Mondays are hard because kids have a late start, so I have a lot shorter period. But within, I think, 2.5 hours, I was able to scan 400, or almost 400 books, scan, label, and get ready to go. So tomorrow I'll finish the other 400 up and get that pallet ready to go. So it's quick.
Nice. Yeah, and if you guys don't know, we're talking about LTL, which means less than truckload shipping using a pallet on Amazon. And I have a post on Instagram I post every once in a while, but you can get I was getting 25 cents a pound, like for my good rate to a good close fulfillment center using UPS, 25 cents a pound. And when I switched to using LTL, I got 9 cents a pound, which was a 60% savings, which is insane. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worth looking into whether or not you can deal with the delays. I never had a 6-week delay. I don't know what that was all about.
Actually, and I don't think you plugged this enough. Maybe you don't want to, but with the mastermind course, or you got your mastermind, not course,
the
but your
Patreon group.
Yeah, for people that need some good info, join Reezy's Patreon group. It's pretty killer. Um, I don't know where I was going, but either way, I was watching one of your videos, and you're talking about, you have that slip of paper that you still have about how you wrote it down. Here's my cost for UPS. Here's my cost for pallet. And I sat down and I pulled up my next shipment. I did the same thing. I scribbled. I was like, crap, I gotta start doing pallets. But then I was still working full time at my other job. So I don't know if you know, but you probably know this. Like sometimes they'll show up that day. Sometimes they'll show up 3 days later. So working a full time job, I did one pallet, and I couldn't do it because you have to be able to be at home when they when they're supposed to be there.
Right. They're like, we're coming, and you're like, well, you were supposed to come 3 days ago.
Exactly. So the perfect thing is now I had a book sale and we killed it there. I mean, we had definitely way more books than most other people did. But the cool thing is I have a pallet that I'm getting ready. It'll be done by tomorrow, ready to go out. And then, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, until that pallet gets picked up, I got plenty of shoes to clean and list.
Awesome. Awesome. It sounds like to me like you need to hire someone to clean the shoes for you.
Oh, amen, brother. That's next on my list. I'm trying to hire my wife. She just, I keep telling her, I was like, I will pay you more than you're getting at work, but she's not ready. She likes working with people. She was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, so she finally got back out in the workforce. Almost 2 years now. She likes it, but
the cool thing about that is the shoes are so portable, right? You could take a bin of, I don't know how many pairs of shoes fit in a bin. 18 to 20 pairs of shoes, and you can drop off, 1 to 2 bins. You can drop off a bin at someone's house on Monday, pay them X amount for every pair they clean, like a flat rate, and then on Tuesday you could bring bin number 2 and pick up bin number 1, and it's like a perfect job for a stay-at-home mom that wants to make some extra cash, or for a disabled person, or for, it's just a perfect.
Yep.
I could see you easily finding someone to do that, posting on Craigslist or even Facebook Marketplace. Or I'm not going to say like it's not a full-time job just cleaning shoes, right?
No, not at all. I mean,
Right.
I do an hour and a half is what I spend on shoes a day.
Right.
So
So
no,
yeah,
and
but
that's actually,
still, your time is worth, whatever you can do with it, right? Which is, more than
yeah,
someone that would be willing to work a fixed rate job for that. So you probably should look into that, man.
yep, that's
Thinking it,
actually that's on the list to do. It's I'm not quite there yet because now that I'm taking, this is my full time income, so I can only divert so much. And like I said, I'm in that rapid growth phase where I am dumping a lot of money right back into it again. So now that I'm paying a VA to list, I have to make, I just started doing that a couple months ago. So I had to set aside, a couple $250 a week to pay to a VA. So now, yeah, as things start to roll, I get that nest egg back up, then I'll start looking. And originally I thought, well, I don't want somebody coming to my house and taking photos. But like you said, there's no reason why. I mean, this little cloth sheet that I have and a few lights and an iPhone, that's all you really need. And I can drop it off at someone's house. Just like you
right.
said, pick it up, ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. Someone was asking, what's the minimum weight for LTL shipping? I don't know that there is a minimum, but it's not going to be worth it for you to do it unless you hit a certain weight, which varies depending on how far your fulfillment center is from your location. So for me, I start to save 60% at around 300 pounds, but my fulfillment centers are really close. I have one in Phoenix and I have one in Northern California, which is, a couple hours from me, both of them either way. But I know people that live in Minnesota that they don't start making a savings versus UPS until they have like 2 pallets plus. So it varies for each person, and I think the max weight for a pallet is 1,500 pounds. Do you know, Mike?
Yep, I want to say the minimum is 250 to 300, and yeah, your max weight's 1,500.
Yeah, I've never got anywhere close to hitting 1,500.
I felt bad for my poor sorry, little headphone swap. I felt bad for my poor truck LTL driver because I live on a slight hill, and I was told that they can I can put them to bring all the boxes to the road. I would put them on the
Build it in the street, yeah.
out, or sorry, the street, yeah, in the live in a cul-de-sac, and luckily it's a pretty safe neighborhood. But I got a pallet just sitting on the bottom in the cul-de-sac, waiting to get picked up. Next day they don't show up. Next day they don't show up, and then it starts raining. So I'm out there with tarps trying to cover it, and
Oh yeah.
I talked to the guy. Yeah, so he lets me put them in the garage now. I put them on the pallet, 15.
And then he drags it out from the garage on the hand truck, yeah.
100 pounds, 100 pounds. He's like,
You did a 1,500 pound pallet?
I need to handle one, so probably should. 98 pounds.
How much?
Yeah, 1498.
Wow. How many books was that?
Yeah.
That's more than I've ever done.
12 to 1300.
How tall was your pallet?
That's, I want to say 70. What's tape measure? Oh yeah, that's right. Tape measure for measuring the heels. It was, I think, I don't know. It was like around 60 inches, I think. I don't know, whatever. It was 4 tall plus I think 1 in the center, so almost 5 rows tall. There was 30 something boxes, I want to say. I don't remember. It's been a while. I won't do that one again. I'll split it into 2.
That's a lot, man. That's huge.
Yeah.
Someone also asked, would you ever do a pallet for shipping shoes to Amazon? I would if it would be worth it, but shoes barely weigh anything. So it'd be very hard to pack enough shoes on a pallet to be worth it. Like, I use extra large Home Depot boxes to ship shoes to Amazon, and they never weigh more than 30 pounds. This is a huge box. This is a box to where if you filled it with books, it would weigh 150 pounds.
Also, Megan, was it Flavius? I feel you every once in a while. They asked me, like my last shipment, they asked me to ship to the East Coast. I shipped 200 books. I found a little, I pulled one of your things where you try to, I made like the inventory, 15 of all of these books. And I kept changing it. And the next day I came back and they finally, originally they wanted me to send 300 to the East Coast. And then they changed it to like 200. I was like, I'll take it, because to ship 300 books, it cost me like $350 almost. Whereas, I can do a pallet of 1,000 books for 300. So yes, I feel your pain, Megan. I hate shipping to the East Coast.
Yeah, no, it's terrible, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of tricky stuff you got to do to manipulate the shipment when you can.
Yeah, I'm still working on that. I remember watching your video and I was like, I got to try one of these little tricks and see what works.
Awesome. So I'm gonna do a giveaway for another Rally Roots beanie. Shout out to Ryan and Allie of Rally Roots for providing me with some beanies to do a giveaway. I bought these and then they sent me these to do a giveaway, so I was stoked about that. And they really are. I mean, I'm not wearing it to promote it or because Ryan paid me to wear it. Like, I like supporting my homies, but I really like this beanie and it's cold right now. So like he dropped them at a good time. Um, so here's the deal. In order to get this beanie, you need to comment on this video, not in the live chat, in the comments after the video, after the live video ends. You wait about 5 minutes and then there will be a comment section and you need to comment on this video. You got to comment Miggity Mike sells shoes. Just comment Miggity Mike sells shoes. And then on my next video, I will pick a winner for this one. And if you are the person that won in the beginning, please don't forget to contact me so that I can ship you your beanie. You got 7 days till I give away your beanie to the next person. If there's any more comments or questions that you guys have, no, I don't care about your spelling. Spelling doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can't spell to save my life.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can spell your own name. Also make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and comment in the chat, Miggity Mike sells shoes. And I will pick someone at random on the next video that I do that could win this beanie, it's a nice beanie. Me and Rosa each have one, and we wear it all the time. I actually bought a brand new beanie before I went to Canada, a Bulls beanie, New Era beanie, and it gave me a headache. It was so tight, and I lost it in Canada anyways. But this beanie doesn't give me a headache, and it has a nice palm on the top. It's tight. It's a good design, right? Like, I like it. Like,
It's pretty sick.
I need to make my own beanies. Where's the Reezy beanies at?
Oh.
It's too late though. I got to come up with another product. So what do you have any advice, Mike, for sellers getting into eBay and Amazon? Like, if you could travel back in time and give yourself some tips, what would it be?
That's a good question. I was actually just thinking. I think it was one of your people make that comment or question, and I don't know. I love the process. I love making mistakes. Obviously, I'd rather learn from someone else's mistakes, but when it hurts your checkbook and it hurts your bank account, that's when you feel it, and that's when you grow. So, I wish I would have got. If I can go all the way back, I would have went back to back when I was doing it in school, doing the clothes, and I would have jumped right into shoes. But I don't change nothing. It's just been growing.
Yeah, I always tell people, I say I learn the best when I lose money.
Yep, exactly. You do. You definitely do.
You do. You remember it. It hurts.
Yep. Yeah.
I feel like you remember losses more than you remember wins.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, there's a couple things that you'll like. SAS, San Antonio Shoe Company. Those shoes are notorious for not having. The size just gets worn off. They look like. Oh, there's another one. People that don't know, it's a killer shoe. It's like an old lady. You label it as a diabetic shoe, and they sell really good money for them. But the label, the size wears off. So you bring them home and you're looking for a size and you can't find it. And if you're gutsy, you can measure it. But a lot of times it goes in my to redonate pile. And after enough of those, when you're at the thrift store and you're looking, you're like, oh, hey, this doesn't have a size. Toss it back. So yeah, the ones that hurt you learn from them.
Right. So you do toss it back now?
I do. If it's a really good shoe, like a really expensive shoe, I'm going to take it home. I'm going to measure it. I'm going to put the measurements in the listing. And like those churches, I could not find a size. It's because I didn't realize 72 was a size. I'd never seen it before. Yeah.
Is that like a European size?
I'm not even sure, because usually, European, they use like 38, 30, 40. I'm a 44. Like they use I'm not sure what this was.
Yeah, I wear a size 8. What's 70?
Yeah. Exactly. That'd be huge. I do have some size 16 Jordans though. So those
16,
big ones.
Damn, those are big, bro.
Yes, I have some 18s are the biggest one in my inventory, but there's some monsters.
You sell big shoes just as good as small shoes?
I'm still sitting on them. I am not. I do take best offer. I I don't like it because I reject so many offers. Like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, "Ooh, I got 5 alerts on eBay," and it's like 2 items sold, and it's like offer, 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 and it's always low balls. But anybody offers me $5 for less, and I'm usually accepting it. But like something like a size 18, if it's a good, I got some biker boots or I got some Jordans, I'm holding out for some money on those ones.
Right, because there's less buyers, right?
Exactly. Like they usually hit you up pretty quick because they'll save their searches. So as soon as you list them, you'll start, getting the offers. But yeah, you hold out. There's somebody with a big foot's gonna want them.
How long, Mr. Bigfoot, Harry and the Hendersons? I love that movie, by the way. How long would you say you invest in each shoe listing and photographing, listing, getting it ready to go?
Good one. Flipping. Actually, I was sitting on that one. I was sitting on that comment waiting for it. But shoes, 1.5 hours a day. That's what I mean. Sometimes I don't do a lot of TV. Actually, for 6 months, there you go. You need some advice for people? Turn off the TV, unless it's going to distract you. So for 6 months, while I was really building, no TV, no nothing. Podcasts, I might watch a little bit of your show from here to there, but normally, during my working hours, I'm not watching anything. And at night, my 8 o'clock to midnight, I will allow sometimes to watch something. I'll put it in the background, but it will take more than an hour and a half. I'll find out my photos, prep, all that takes me 2 hours if I have a show going. So 1.5 hours if I'm just sitting there listening to music or podcasts, and that's grabbing my inventory, that's cleaning it, that's writing my slip. I'm also doing an Excel spreadsheet, so I know when I listed it, how much it cost, and when it sells, how much it sold for, and the date sold. So after doing taxes, I figured I need a better system for tracking everything. That's bagging it up, tagging it, and uploading photos. Hour and a half. Then
How many?
15.
Okay.
15 pairs. And then if there's time, I do my other listings that I do myself, like vintage electronics and such. But then I also spend about another 7 to 10.
About 6 pairs an hour.
Yeah. That was a little
Vintage
more right.
electronics.
Oh yeah, but and then after that, after my VA listing, like you were talking about earlier, I go to InkFrog, I pull up the shoes on one screen. I pull up, I'll highlight their title, and I click it, and while it's loading, I go to my other screen and I go to eBay and I search the comps and I look just to make sure, because a lot of them, if it's a shape up, if it's a SAS, if it's some of these ones, I know what I'm going to list it for. But there's every once in a while, you don't want to just guess. Like there's a really good shoe, so most every shoe I'm checking up the comps while once the other page goes, pop in my numbers, and so it takes me about another 7 to 10 minutes to put the prices in and launch the actual shoe, because my VA they don't actually launch it, they don't list it, they just have the drafts ready to go for me.
And what is involved with the drafting? The titles, the description?
Yep, I actually have it all set up, and this is another one, man. This is you, the godfather of resale, man. This comes from you. My phone, I had the text expander, and so every time I have a shoe, when I list it, I type, if it's in good condition, I just say IGC, boom, it auto populates. In good condition. These shoes do show some signs of wear, but still have a ton of life left in them. And then it says, please see photos for color, style, and condition. And then it has my return policy and all that. And then I took that, I brought it over to InkFrog. So now on a slip of paper, I write good condition. And if VA sees it's in good condition, all they have to do is select good in my profiles, and it automatically brings in all that stuff I just said. Just like a text expander brings it all in. And then all they have to do is just copy and paste the title into the description right before. So it'll say, say the title is Merrell's women's, size 7.5 athletic hiking shoes, and that has my bin number. They just select everything except for my bin number, then paste that into the description, and then they're off and running. And all from there, they just have to put in the size. They put it in my store category. So if you go, if you want to know your size 8, so if you go to my store and look for 8s, it should show you all the men's 8s. They put in, I usually don't mess with manufacturer or anything like that, but they just put all that information in, and yeah.
Awesome, dude. Text expansion is a huge time saver.
Huge.
If you guys aren't using text expansion in your e-commerce business, you are wasting a lot of time. There is, they have it on PC. You can get an app called Phrase Express. It has a free version, but it gets kind of annoying after time. And I think it's pretty cheap to purchase a lifetime account. And on Mac, I believe there's a free one called Typinator that is really awesome. And I don't know about Android phones, but on iPhones, it's built into the keyboard. You go to settings, you go to general, you go to keyboard, and then you add new phrases. So if you like to list from your phone, you can be saving a lot of time on eBay and Poshmark using your phrases and shortcuts. Let's talk about Poshmark real quick. How long you been doing Poshmark for, Mike?
Actually doing it, it'll be a month, pretty much in a month. It's almost a month. I'm probably about a week and a half away. You know, I got my cousin, that same cousin, she does a lot of Poshmark and talking about how fast it is. Another lady I see at a bin, one of the bins I go to, you know, she's grabbing stuff and I never really got it because she's like, "Oh, do you have the other one of these Lucky Brand boots?" I'm like, "No, I don't mess with Lucky Brand." I don't tell her this, but I'm like, "I don't mess with Lucky Brand boots." Like, you know, I have standards because Lucky Brand boots from no offense, lady, no, from what I've seen, Lucky Brand boots on eBay just don't do well. You know, certain ones, you know, she'll have not Fergalicious, but you know, she's got some brands I would never mess with. Then you go over to Poshmark, and she's selling those same freaking boots for $50 that I wouldn't even touch, you know, and I could have bought them for $2. But, you know, eBay, you might sell them for 15, maybe 20 if you're lucky. Poshmark, she's selling for $50.
And actually selling.
And these are actual solds. I know, yeah, I snipe everyone's store, you know. Chris 10K on the Bay, I'm watching his store. This lady, my cousins, not daily, but at least a couple times a week. I got a buddy who sells everybody I know that I watch yours as well. And I'm watching your I can't think of the little balls, those things that you sold. But
oh yeah. My eBay is terribly inactive, so that's pretty much a waste of time.
Yeah, but still, I like to see like, oh, what's Reezy selling today? And
Yeah,
has he got those shoes listed yet? No.
No, he doesn't.
But no, he doesn't. I saw that. But yeah, I go on there and I check, and so now she is definitely saved because I can see. And so just the other day, I picked up some Lucky Brand boots. Now my sales on Poshmark are lagging. I haven't put as much energy into it as I like. I think today I only got like 2 listings. I'm cross-listing them. I actually put a YouTube video up. I used to try to, you know, follow the journey and just kind of post some videos of what I'm doing. I have been really inactive. I just put a couple videos up recently. But Poshmark, you can cross-list an item on your phone while you're out with your kids, out doing whatever, in about 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes.
Like from, you know, you mean something you already have listed on eBay?
Exactly. So I'll pull up eBay on my phone. Let's see. I'll pull up an item that's already up there. So here we go. Here's some Joseph Siebels. I'm gonna, you know, grab the pictures, screenshot, swipe, screenshot, swipe. You know.
Oh, you're screenshotting the pictures.
Yeah, because I don't have those photos anymore. You know, once I used to do all the listings from my phone, or almost about 90%. You know, I draft them all up.
Are those really low quality on Poshmark when you view them, or are they good?
They're not. I thought they would be, and this is what really got me excited. So there's a store I won't shout it out. There's one store I go to every Wednesday, and my cousin, I see her there like most every Wednesday as well. They swap their tags. You know, they have a 30% off sale. And so I see her, and we're just talking for a while about Poshmark, and I was like, yeah, but, you know, just trying to get the cross listing. It seems like it's taking a while. She grabs my phone. She's like, here's what you do. You know, she shows me how to like and share stuff. And then she starts screenshotting. And she, you know, she does photography. She does it on the side. I don't know if she's still active or not, but she does, you know, she knows her photos. And I was like, wait a second, you're screenshotting of a picture off of eBay. You know, isn't your quality going to be horrible? And she was like, not at all. It's fine. Because especially because most people are looking at mobile. But even if you go to my Poshmark store, it's still good. And yeah, I mean, I had these Bionic shoes. I think I paid $8 for them, and I had them on eBay for around like 40. I put them on Poshmark for 60, and I took an offer for like, you know, I sold them for, I think I sold them for 60. I think I listed them for 65. I sold them for 60. The cool feature about Poshmark is there's a spot that says what their price was originally. So I said those shoes were, I don't remember what it was. Say it was $200. It says was 200 is now 60, and then it shows you what it's like. Oh, these shoes are 80% off or 50% off.
Off of retail.
Off of retail, and that's
killer.
Awesome. So it is.
Real quick, I want to shout out, not to interrupt you guys, real quick, I want to shout out Megan Flavius for hitting us with the $5 super chat. Woo woo. Thank you, Megan. I will use that money to buy Mike a beer when I meet him.
I'm gonna be there in about 2.5 weeks, brother.
Where are you coming to?
San Rafael. So I'll be about 2 hours away, but
I forgot. You said you're gonna swing over here.
I am. I'm gonna see if you're not busy, but I'm gonna be at the bins. I can't think what it is. Somewhere between San Rafael and where you're at. There's some Value Villages and bins and stuff. So I'll be there. I can't go and not source. I got to see what Cali's all about. So yeah, I'll be out sourcing. But if nothing else, man, yeah, I'll come over and grab a beer with you.
Definitely. What is that, a weekend or what is that?
The night, yeah, we're gonna leave. I don't know when we're gonna get there. We're leaving. It's like the weekend of the spring break's the 9th to 14th or something. But there's a big sale in Oregon. I'm trying to get back for if I do a big book sale. If I don't make it, it's all good. But I think we're leaving the 7th or something. But so most of the days will be weekdays. We might be there for a Sunday. I'm not positive.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that would be super cool to see you, man. I think if we got to plan it out, I will do a local reseller meetup thing in my area. So we've done a couple of these. This would probably be the third one that we would do, which would just be a local reseller meetup. We usually just get pizza and beer. The last one we did was when Nicole State was in town. But if you're gonna come, we should probably set one up. We have about maybe 10 resellers that live in this area within a half hour or so that would come out, and maybe some people from San Jose. But we basically just talk shop, drink beers, eat pizza. It's kid friendly. Bring your kids. Just coworker stuff. You know what it is.
Heck yeah, we gotta get it going.
Definitely. Let me see. Nicole State's in the chat.
Nicole, I don't know if you were here earlier, but thank you for your VA. How to hire a VA course, man. Game changer. I still owe you a little more. I didn't pay enough when I donated on that course. So
It was
I owe
the
you some more.
donation model.
Yeah, it was a donation based, and
I've been thinking about doing one of those myself for like an intro to Amazon type thing to get people going, because I know a lot of people. I have a lot of followers that are just like eBay only or Poshmark, and they're like they want to get into the Amazon world, but they don't know too much about it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like she said, I mean, it's hiring a VA. I mean, it's just a good way to also make some side cash. You're putting a lot of time. I mean, it's good to put on YouTube, but you're putting a lot of time and energy into it. So I say, I mean, ask for donations. That's not bad at all. You're paying for your education, but yeah, it was good. I don't think that class she didn't record it, but that would have been a good one to still have. But it was pretty killer.
So
thank you.
Brian, the Oak Brook picker, which is Brian's the OG from Chicago. He said MBT is a low key bolo, but you need to check the outsoles. Is that a brand?
Yep,
MBT.
Yep, and I can't remember where. It's not European. I can't remember where they're made. It's because it says like something engineered. It's kind of like a shape up, but it's kind of like the higher end of a shape up. They don't sell quite as fast, for me at least. I mean, that's one of those weird things where I can have all these shape ups and I'm selling them, like I'm killing it. You might list them, and for some reason,
Yeah, it's marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, so MBTs for me. I mean, I got some boots. I had these MBT boots. I think I got them at the bins for about $4 or $5. Sold them for around 50. So you find that certain one, they do sell. But yeah, it's kind of like it's a rocker toner shoe, just like
right. Yeah. Brian says that MBT copied Skechers style.
Hey,
that makes sense though, right?
I mean, if it's working.
Right, definitely.
Just like private label, just jumping on that listing.
Yep, get on it. So if you guys have any more questions, please comment down below. And remember, if you want to win a Rally Roots beanie, or I've been calling them rally caps, because I like to make up my own names, comment down below. Miggity Mike sells shoes, and I won't punish you for spelling errors. Also, smash the like button if you haven't. Anything else you want to touch on, Mike?
No. And Nicole, she said that she loves hearing men talk about Poshmark. This is a love-hate relationship, and no offense to Poshmark. It's all business. I am not a social. I deleted Facebook. I have one. I reopened it. I use it only for like following you. It's all business. I got an Instagram because my cousin told me, she's like, you got to get on Instagram. People like Nicole, people like Reezy, they're inspirational. Plus, you'll see some bolos. But Poshmark, it's hard, and I don't think you're allowed to use bots. If you are a Poshmark, I'm not going to use a bot, but I'm going to find a way.
Why not?
I don't like.
Sounds like you
exactly.
should use a bot.
Right, I pay my kids right now. I literally pay my kids to sit there and share items and like items and follow people because I don't got the time for that. But I do. It is a good platform. I like their shipping model. I don't know if you know much about that, but their shipping, they use like Posh shipping. So instead of having to do calculated shipping or free shipping, they charge, I want to say $6.49 or $6.99 every pair of shoes, up to like 4 pounds. So you know, something that normally a 3-pound pair of shape ups or 3-pound pair of boots or 4-pound pair of boots going to the East Coast, it's probably going in a medium flat rate mailer for $12.45. No, it's like 3 something to the or 14 something to the customer. But Poshmark, that same item, same flat price, $6.50 or $6.99, whatever it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's killer. And if there's returns, if there's returns, Poshmark eats the shipping. The customer will mail you the item back, and apparently Poshmark covers it. So
Wow, that's cool. Nicole is saying in her mentorship group, shout out Nicole's mentorship group, that some of the girls in her group hired VAs for Poshmark sharing.
oh, I love it. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Like, yes, good call, Nicole. I will
'Cause
be writing that down.
I don't know what you're paying your kids, but chances are you can probably save some money if you hire a Filipino.
You know, maybe people tell me I pay my kids too well because we go to these book sales, and like this is another one. Thank you, Reezy. Whoever hasn't seen it that does books, go watch his video on dominating. I don't know what the title is. Dominating a book sale. So my wife, my daughter, and it's supposed to be a couple daughters. I had a couple scanners bail out though, so I only had 3 scanners. So I had 2 runners. It wasn't good cell coverage. We had walkie talkies, and you know we just dominated by
Damn,
having
you
those.
came with the walkie-talkies?
Oh, dude, I don't have them. I ordered them on Amazon.
That way you didn't have to yell across the room.
Exactly, and there was no. It was over 100,000 books. It was in this huge building, and
So you must have had the super predator status going on, right? Like
I
phone on your
literally
arm, battery on your arm, like walkie-talkie on your collar.
my battery. I use the case battery, so I don't have to worry about the battery on the arm as well. Yeah, the walkie talkies. I actually bought the earpiece, like CIA earpieces, you know, with the lapel mic. They didn't work for my walkies though, so we had to just clip it on my shirt. But I mean, that was awesome. Every time a box is almost full, just call for a runner over here. When we were in a really good section, we would use code words because I didn't want to. There's a couple sections that people apparently do not know about. And actually, I guess I'll say it here because if you're around Seattle and Tacoma, kids' books and graphic novels do not sell. But if you're anywhere else, kids' books and graphic novels, gold mine, man. It's been killer. It's just amazing.
It's awesome. Yeah. So if you guys don't know what Mike's talking about, if I remember, I'll put a link here, or I guess it's over here. I always point the wrong side. To a video that I made. I think it's called. I change the titles now and then for SEO, but I think it's called "How to Crush It at a Library Sale" or how to be a pro at a library sale. I don't remember what it's called. But it's basically everything I know that took me, 5 to 10 years to learn about how to do good at a book sale. And I use these tactics at book sales. And I still, to this day, I don't see too many people that use them. If I do, there are people who follow me and I'll be at a book sale and they'll be like, Reezy's in the house, like just yelling it across the room. It's hilarious, but it's cool because, people respect you. They're not going to just like be super disrespectful, like, because if you guys don't know, the reselling industry can be grimy. Not everyone's nice and smiley and like
not at all
talkative, like there's some super pricks in the reselling game, which is probably one of the largest drawbacks for me actually, is that you just have to exist around people that are like that. Obviously you don't let them drag you down or whatever, but it's just a day in and day out, you see these people, and they're pessimistic, they're negative, they're scarcity mindset. It's just pretty terrible. But go watch that video and I guarantee you will do much better at a book sale. The one thing that I think is the biggest thing is having a shuttle, having a runner at the bookstore or the book sale. Almost nobody does it, and it scales up your ability to get books way faster because your cart is full. You call the runner to come take your cart and bring you an empty one, and then you keep going. You don't ever have to leave the sales floor because that's the skilled part of the job, which is finding the books that you're going to keep. And then also, of course, bringing other people with you and giving them scanners. Even if you're just signing up for 1 month of service or whatever, it's totally worth it.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a guy that I've been seeing now for the last year, and we were talking for a while, and I was telling my buddy, I was like, if you see this guy, watch him move. Like, he just scan, loads a book or a tub. He runs over, doesn't run, but he's quick walking over, drops it off. When he gets done, he has a beautiful stack. And we got done, he was like, oh my gosh, those are all your guys' books? Like, how many scanners do you have? I was like, 3 scanners, two runners because this guy, as quick as he is, he loses his spot every time he has to fill up a box, or bring his box to the will call. So
Right. And even if
yeah,
you aren't losing your spot, you're leapfrogging people. You're gonna scan like an arm's worth of books, and then I'm gonna get in front of you and scan the next arm's worth of books, and then you're gonna get in front of me. Like, so imagine you
yeah,
walk off and go drop your books off. I'm gonna get the next 4 arm scans of books all to myself.
definitely, yeah. And my daughter's 13-year-old. She's getting to the point where she wants extra money, and I pay all the other scanners are like, stop paying so well. Like our kids are going to start asking for more because I told them, I was like, hey, I'll pay people $20 an hour to be a runner if you make it worth it. If you're there on top of it, boxes ready, I'll pay good money for it. It's worth every cent.
So Brian's in the chat talking about foot fetish freaks. Do you get people asking you to put shoes on?
I was going to bring that up. Another one. Yeah. So I have not got it yet, but I've seen it. I love, if you ever want to just go down a rabbit hole, go on eBay and type well-worn shoes. That's the key you have to use, well-worn. And you will find ladies like with their foot half hanging out. Or the one I love, they're taking a picture down because they're doing like a flat lay. So they're putting on the carpet, and of course their toes just happen to be peeking into the picture just ever so slightly. And I have not got them yet, but I had a buddy who he also sells shoes online and on eBay, and yeah, somebody was like, "Hey, do you mind sending me a picture of you wearing these?" The dude wears like a size 12 shoe. This is some women's pumps. So he sends him a picture with his big old foot just hanging out, hairy feet just hanging out of his shoe, and never got a response. Apparently, the guy didn't. It's not what he was looking for, but they do come out, yeah. But I haven't made it as a shoe seller yet. I told him, dude, you've made it. You don't make it as a shoe seller until you get like some freak coming after, asking you questions.
That's funny. It's hilarious. Shout out to Mohammed Anjar, who gave us another $5 super chat. It seems like we're gonna have at least 2 beers, Mike.
Sweet. Thank you, man.
Appreciate that, guys. Someone in the chat says, "What is this crazy you speak of?" Man, it is crazy. People out here selling well-worn socks.
Oh, I have not. Okay, I'll write that down to look at later tonight.
Yeah, that'll have you. I don't know if that's the keyword for that one, but people out here like, these are brown socks worn by a UPS guy for 2 weeks straight and never washed.
It's sealed or cleaned per eBay policies and sealed in a Ziploc baggie to retain their freshness.
Yeah.
And I'm not I'm not saying they're crazy, but yeah, it's definitely it's a very different world.
Steve Corden dropped a bolo about Guitar Hero guitars, specifically for the Xbox 360, and I think a lot of people know about that, but if you don't, check it out. You can pick them up for like $5 at yard sales. They're easy to test. They don't really break very often, but the key is the Xbox 360. The Wii ones are not really worth as much. They're kind of almost worthless. Megan also says the well-worn bras. And Nicole says eBay frowns highly on those, so be careful. Yes, we can still look at them all we want, though.
Exactly. I would not list that every time. That's why I use broken in. So like when I write in broken in on my slip for my VA, it auto populates. These shoes are broken in or well broken in or something, but it stays away from those words well worn for that reason.
Someone was asking, where do you find VAs? And I'll just shoot that one. So the best place to find a VA is going to be on onlinejobs.ph. It's not free to post a job ad. It costs, I believe, $70 to post an ad. Not to post an ad, but to have access to the board for a month. And you post your ad, and then you get emails. They come to you directly with the applicant's email. And then you test people and choose who you're going to hire, and then you don't need to pay the monthly fee anymore at all. So you're paying them to have access to the board. That's it. Once you get your applicants or your hirees, they work directly with you, not with the company at all anymore. You could also do Fiverr, Upwork. Think of any more, Mike?
Yeah, Upwork's what I was going to say. That's one Nicole recommended, and super simple.
Yeah. The thing that I don't like about it is it's a little bit, it seems kind of unprofessional. People are gaming the system, like you'll hire a graphic designer and they'll show you their portfolio, which looks really good. And then you'll ask them to make a piece of art, in a certain fashion, and it will come back and be terrible, right? Which means obviously they faked their portfolio. But I think the major thing is that when you hire someone on onlinejobs.ph, it's like a long-term, more likely to be a long-term versus someone that just wants, a job here or a job there, or you can find a worker that can be your worker only, not someone that's going to be hopping around, to different $5 jobs all the time.
And for Aaron Austin's question, if you don't know the original price of an item for Poshmark, what do you put? I do a guesstimate. Honestly, I go in and I look, and if it's some Stuart Weitzman's, I'll go onto their website and I'll see, okay, what are their pumps going for right now that look about the same. And so say they're going for 180 to 200. I'm just gonna go in the middle. It's not that big. Like my cousin on Poshmark, I think she puts in for all of her listings. Another couple guys I know, they don't do anything. But I just try to get to as close as it would be currently. I'll just, like I said, go find a shit that looks about the same on the manufacturer's website.
Ew. Barkada NYC says people on Poshmark will ask you how many times you wore a dress and ask what events you wore it to and if you sweat a lot.
Oh,
my God. What are we? And we like to do this more than going to work?
Yeah, they're migrating over to Poshmark apparently.
Megan asks, I'm thinking of hiring a VA for my book business. When you pay them, is it hourly or daily? For what tasks are you hiring them for, Megan?
You can pay them for either. You can pay them by the project, by the hour. But for books, I'd be curious because I would love to hire a VA for my books.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what. I mean, the only thing that comes to my head, about that would be like for repricing. But I would just suggest using a repricer. But yeah, whatever works for you. There's pros and cons, right? So paying by the unit, I think, is awesome because you don't have to track their time or their productivity. It's by the unit, Imagine if you were paying someone to process your books, Mike, and you were just giving them a quarter a book, which is actually a good deal because they could process about 100 books an hour, and that's $25 an hour. And you wouldn't have to measure their time at all versus paying them $15 an hour and then having to see, well, how many books did you get out in that pay period and how much did we pay you? Now let's divide the pay into the quantity of books that went out and go, oh, well, you only got out 48 books an hour.
Yeah, I got apologize. I missed a little bit of that. My phone I had to charge my phone and get a battery alert, so I'm back on power though. Good to go.
Yeah, I was just going over the differences between paying someone by the hour versus by the unit, and how I prefer doing the unit-based pay because you don't have to track the time. But, if you have a really good employee and they want to work by the hours, you have to figure out what's better for you, what will keep your employee longer, etc.
I pay
go ahead.
For scanning books and stuff. I pay by the book just because I'll do like $1 a book and a 10% of any book that sells for like over $25-$30 profit. I'm giving a 10% commission as well. Most of the people that work with me are friends and family, and they got good work ethics.
Are you talking about at book sales, or do you have people doing scouting for you?
The scouting as well. For right now, it's mostly me. My mom, she's out there hustling. Like when she's out there getting shoes and stuff, she'll scan books for me. She's looking at getting a merchant fulfilled, so she might be taking some of mine away from me. But mostly for book sales, like I got a cousin in school, like he'll come out and join and stuff, go up to Seattle and do some scanning, and I'm always making sure it's worth it. If we don't find any or very few books, I'll make sure the hourly is worth it. But if usually the $1 a book works out to well over $20 an hour, so most people are fine with that.
Nice. All right. Well, I think we just crossed the 2-hour mark. So I got to get back to the family. You got to get the kids to bed. It's 8 p.m. for you. I don't know what they're doing, playing games. Yeah, they haven't busted it. You got some good kids, Mike.
That's probably what it is, because I told them they can play games. They're like, wait, what? Dad's smoking crack or something. Just don't argue, play games.
They're playing video games right now?
I think so. Probably some Harry Potter or something.
Nice. That's awesome. I thought you meant they were going to play board games or something. So if you guys appreciated this show, please smash the like button and please subscribe to the channel. Also, please give Miggity Mike a subscribe on his YouTube channel and head over to his Instagram and follow him on Instagram. I will put the links for both of those down below in the chat or in the description. And don't forget to comment in the chat, Miggity Mike sells shoes. That way you can get a chance to win this super awesome Rally Roots beanie. But yeah, thank you for joining us, guys. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you know, what are you doing with your life? You know, get on that train, get on the follow the hustle, I think it's called. We got something we say around here, Mike. Do you know what that is?
If you ain't flipping, you slipping.
Yep. Don't be slipping, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, Mike. I'll see
Thanks for
you
having me.
tomorrow on Instagram, I'm sure.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Yep. Have a good one, Mike. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.